as promised, it's time to make my video. I had to get my energy back up. I can honestly say going through a spiritual journey, and I have been on this spiritual journey for a long time, like I've said a few times in these videos, and the videos have just consistently been the same, kind of sort of, with me telling my truth. And I want to start off again with a prayer and a moment of silence to say, I want our ancestors, Yahweh, God, whatever you all call him, me being an omnis, I know there's just one creator. And moment of silence to ask him to cover us as we embark on this next episode. Amen. So today, instead of ending with a prayer, which I'm not 100% sure yet, I want to start off with acknowledging a few things. So for one, I thank you all for watching my videos. I did not know that I did not have my comments on, so everyone is free to make comments. I appreciate the comments and the text messages that I have been getting directly about your feedback and part of your journeys and your stories just as well. And it has been wonderful and an inspiration to know that I have been actively an inspiration of telling my truth while I'm self-discovering to get to know who I am. And most recently, I have been rebonding, I might say, not bonding, but rebonding with my brother. And we have talked about a lot of things, and a lot of truth has coming out that I did not know. A lot of truth has coming out that he did not know. And we have been understanding. So today we will be talking about childhood trauma, the effects that it has on you long term that a lot of people don't talk about. It's like we don't have time. Some people just don't have time. And then when you do have time, it's always when it's idle time. And it seems like when the idle time, you hear it's the time for the devil's playground. This is what it means. Not everybody can go to therapy, and not everybody wants to go to therapy because they rather suppress the memories. And we know in Kundalini, it's not good to suppress your memories, because what kind of life are you creating? Are you creating your heaven on earth, or are you creating more chaos, more hell? Are you passing this down through your generation? Are you passing this down? Everybody doesn't care, I can say that a lot of people don't care. They don't want to heal. They don't feel like they need to heal. They don't feel like they need to change. You're gonna know me and you're gonna accept me for who I am. I can say I was that person. I've been that person where I didn't feel I needed to change anything. And then the more and more I've learned what parts of my childhood trauma, guilt, shame, fears, and everything else transpired over to my relationships. And even if it's a situationship, even if it's a friendship, it transferred over because there was many layers of mask to mask these things that I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want to admit to, or I just didn't know, So I'm going to start off reading again from The Circle of Fire, another part and another prayer, because I really do honestly feel like today's video is about to be the truth, my truth. and a lot of vulnerability and truth. I've had a problem with holding myself accountable. I said it in the last video. You know, I was not forthcoming to hold myself accountable for things that I've said, things that I've done, things that I went against myself on. So this video to me is very important, and excuse me, I'm warning it now. It might cause me to get a little emotional because these last few days of conversations has pretty much made me more vulnerable. So it says truth. Every human is an artist, and our greatest art is life. Humans perceive life and try to make sense of life by expressing what we perceive with words, music, and other expressions of art. We perceive life and then create a story to justify, describe, and explain our perception and emotional reaction. This is so true. All humans are storytellers, and that is what makes us artists. Everything we believe about ourselves is a story we created that is based in reality, but it is just our point of view. Our point of view is based on our experience, on what we know, on what we believe. And what we know and believe is just a program. It is nothing but words, opinions, and ideas we learn from others and from our own life experience. Humans perceive truth, but the way we justify and explain what we perceive is not truth. It is a story. I call this story a dream. The human mind mixes perception, imagination, and emotions to create a whole dream. But the story doesn't end there, because every mind of every human mixes together and creates the mind of the planet Earth. The dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is a dream of all humans together. We can call it society. We can call it a nation, but the results of the creation of the mind, individual and collective, is a dream. The dream can be pleasant dream that we can call heaven, or it can be a nightmare that we can call hell. But heaven or hell only exists at a level of mind. In human society, the dream of the planet is ruled by lies, and fear is the result. It is a dream where humans judge one another, find one another guilty, and punishes another. Humans use the power of the word to gossip and to hurt one another. Misuse the word, creating emotional poison. And all that emotional poison is in the dream. It goes around the world, and that is the most humans that eat emotional poison. The dream of the planet prepares newborn humans to believe it wants what it wants them to believe. In that dream, there's no justice. There's no injustice. Nothing is perfect. There's only imperfections. This is why humans internally search for justice, for happiness, and for love. For thousands of years, people have believed that there is a conflict between good and evil in the universe. But this is not true. The real conflict is between truth and what is not the truth. The conflict exists in the human mind, not in the rest of nature. Good and evil are results of the conflict. Believing in the truth results in the goodness. Believing in and defending what is not true results in evil. Evil is just a result of believing in lies. All human suffering is the result of believing in lies. To become aware of this is the first thing that we must do. Why? Because this awareness will guide us to the truth. The truth will lead us to God, to love, to happiness. The truth will set us free from all of the lies we believe in. But we have to experience the truth to know the truth. We cannot put the truth into words. As soon as we start to talk about the truth, as soon as we start to put them in words, it no longer is the truth. We can experience truth, we can feel truth, but when we make the story is only true for us. For everyone else, it is not the truth. Everyone create his or her story. Everyone lies is in his or her own dream. Whew. To recover awareness is to see life for what it is, not for what we want it to be. To be aware is to see what is truth, not what we want to see in order to justify the lies we believe. If we practice awareness, then times come where we master awareness. When we master awareness as a habit, we always see life as what it is, not for what we want to see. Then we no longer try to put things into words and explain what we perceive to ourselves. Instead, we use words to communicate with someone else, knowing that we are communicating is just our point of view. God is here. God is living inside of you as life, as love. But you have to see the truth, and there is nothing. God is here. God is living inside of you as life, as love. But you have to see the truth, or there is nothing. You are here. You are here to be happy, to live your life, and to express what you are. You were created to perceive the beauty of creation and to live your life in love. But if we cannot find the love inside of you, the whole world can love you, and it's just not going to make a difference inside of you. Instead of you looking to other humans for love, we need to align ourselves with our own love, because it is not the love of the other humans that will make us happy. What will make us happy is the love we feel from every human, is the love that we feel from God, from all creations. When the love comes from somebody else, we can feel it, and it is nice, but when we feel our own love, it is the best thing that can happen to us. We live in heaven, we live in bliss. Your body is the temple where God lives. The proof that God lives in you is that you are alive. In your mind, there is the emotional poison. But you can clean out your mind and prepare yourself for a communion of love with God. Communion means to share your love, to merge in love. And when you pray, it is about communion with love of God inside of you and allowing this love to come out. But if you pray and feel nothing, why waste your time? You need to look on the inside and awaken your love. Open your heart and love unconditionally, not because you want love in return and not because you want to control somebody. That is false love. When you love with no conditions, you transcend to the dream of fear and become aligned with the divine spirit, the love of God, which is the love coming out of you. That love is life, and just like the sun, it is shining all the time. My greatest wish is for all humanity to gain enough awareness to awaken from the dream of fear and use the power of creation to bring heaven on earth. The entire creation is a masterpiece of art, and it's just by perceiving the beauty of God's art. Your hearts can be filled with joy and contentment. Use this prayer to increase your awareness, the beauty of all creations, including the beauty of the creation that is you. You are beautiful just the way you are, and when you perceive your own beauty, your emotional reaction is the reaction of love, and you can experience overwhelming happiness. By perceiving your own beauty, you will see yourself in the flowers, in the sky, in the clouds, in the water, and the ocean. But most of all, you will perceive yourself in other humans, in your beloved, in your parents, in your children, in everyone. Please take a moment to close your eyes and open your heart and feel all the love that is coming into your heart. We're going to do a prayer to communion our love in truth with the Creator. Today, Creator, I ask you to open my eyes and open my heart so that I can recover the truth about my life. Help me to resist the temptations to believe the lies that repress the expression of my life and love. Give me the strength to resist the temptation to believe the lies of others that only keep creating emotional poison in my heart. Today, Creator, let me see what is not, what is that I want to see. Let me hear what is not what I want to hear. Help me to recover my awareness so that I can see you in everything. I perceive my eyes with my ears, with all my senses. Let me perceive with eyes of love so that I find you wherever I go and see you in everything you create. Help me to see you in every cell of my body, in every emotion of my mind, in every person that I meet. Let me see you in the rain, in the flowers, in the water, in the fire, in the animals, and in the butterflies. You are everywhere, and I am one with you. Let me be aware of this truth. Today, let everything that I do and say be an expression of beauty in my heart. Let me be aware of the beauty and the perfection is everything you create, so that I can live internally with you. Thank you, Creator, for the power to create a dream of heaven where everything is possible. Beginning today, I will use the power of my love to create a masterpiece of art of my own life. Amen. Whew. Amen. Amen. Ashe. So mote it be. All the things that any and everybody can say. So I'm going to start off talking about my childhood, and this is going to end up being a 2-part video. I'm going to talk about my childhood and move into how it affected my relationships. So I was raised in a house, like I said before, with all of my father's siblings and my grandparents, and a few cousins lived there, and my cousins who were born from the siblings were all in this house together. So you can just imagine all that. 12 kids, 2 adults, their mates, the ones who had mates, their kids, the few who had kids right away, some cousins. So we had a packed house, and it was full of love. It was full of different type of love, but it was also full of trauma. It was full of things that I didn't know, things that I didn't know that what I know now. It was full of where people were unhealed. It was trauma-filled. I mean, my father expressed and told us how he witnessed his father place his hands on his mother, and he went to defend his mother, and he would defend his mother, and he would ask her to be quiet. So my truth, here we go, my family reenacted that whole entire thing, my mother and father. And I can remember always asking my mom to be quiet, like, just like, you know, let him vent, let him, whatever he's yelling about, whatever he's upset about, just can you let it be? And it would never be, you know, like, it was a kid, you know, just seeing the love from my parents, and like, I don't want this, you guys, you know, like, no, come on, we don't have to be like this, you know, we were just smiling yesterday. But I didn't know how much trauma my dad went through, and I didn't know how much trauma my mom went through. And my mom went through her own set of trauma, even at that time, where she came from a feisty lady. Like, my grandma, my mom's mom, was feisty, like super, super feisty. Like, oh my God. So she didn't let nobody tell her nothing. Like, you not you not finna hold me type thing. You know, my grandma wasn't nothing nice to play with. And God rest her soul. God rest my dad's soul, my grandparent, his parents as well. May they continue to rest in paradise. And literally, I didn't know none of this. As a kid, you don't know anything. You're learning. You're learning from them. You're learning. But you don't know subconsciously how all of those things will affect you later on down the line. And I didn't know, you know. And I just couldn't remember as a child, like, hey, you know, like it's creating this emotion inside of me. It's creating this thing inside of me, and it created a trust wound. And we don't know that those childhood wounds create trust wounds. And a trust wound will look like you're afraid to get hurt by somebody. You're afraid, you don't trust yourself. It looks like you feel insecure and need a lot of external validation. And think about how much of that shows up as you are like moving. Grammar school, middle school, high school. Because this is things that you learn, and emotions that has been poisoned to learn this moving forward. The guilty wounds, feeling sorry and bad all the time. Like I have a problem where I say sorry for feeling like I'm bothering somebody. Like, you know, I do. I still to this day will be like, man, I'm sorry, my bad, you know, like I feel bad. Doesn't like asking for things. That's a guilt wound. I do not like asking for help. And like I would rather figure it out on my own, like, and figure out how to do it. But that's how my parents taught me how to be. They taught me how to figure things out on my own. Like my dad figured out what he needed to do when he became a father. He figured out that he wasn't able to do certain things anymore. Now I have created a family. I need to figure it out. My mom just as well. Like, there's nothing else. Another guilt wound is you're afraid to set boundaries. Like, I'll be honest, people quote unquote will try and I hate saying try because it's clearly an attempt of failure. People would tell, like, I wouldn't be able to set boundaries with people for how you talk to me, how you treat me. And it showed up in my life. It showed up in my moving forward adult life. A neglected wound was created from that. I struggle to let things go. Like, I'm a Cancer, and we can be petty and we cannot let things go. But that's all zodiac signs. I don't give a shit which one. Sorry, I'm trying not to stop cussing. But I don't care which zodiac sign it is. All zodiac signs have a problem with letting certain things go because we didn't create that boundary. So now you're creating a neglect wound. Fears of being vulnerable. I have had a fear of being vulnerable. So I'll say it. I was maybe 4, maybe 5, give or take. I had started losing my teeth around that time, and they were loose. And I remember, like, not telling, but like kind of talking to myself at the park one day. And my cousins were like, what did you say? And they heard me cussing. And I was repeating the fight and an argument that my parents had just had. And they went and told my grandma. And my grandma, being the firecracker that she is, baby, she went off. Like, so she went off on my dad. My dad came and got me. I had to spend my summer at home with them instead of going to my auntie's house, because that's what we were waiting on, for my auntie to come pick us up. And created that wound of me not learning how to be vulnerable anymore. I had a fear of being vulnerable to tell anybody anything anymore. So I suppressed it inside of me, which created another neglect wound where I repressed all my emotions. And I have and I still kind of do have a struggle to say no. Another one is getting angry so easily. Like, I'll talk about it more when we get to the relationship part, but I be defensive, you know, like I'll get angry real quick because it's like you're trying to neglect me, you know, like you're neglecting my feelings and my emotions, and you expect me to not do it to you, you know. And crazy part, another one is, it says normally attracts people who doesn't appreciate them or make them feel seen. I am 38 years old and I have so much to emphasize on that altogether. The abandonment wounds that were created, codependency. I had a problem with codependency, didn't really know how to be on my own, but I learned that from my mom. Like, I felt like my mother, did not know how to be on her own, and I would always ask her as a child, like, can we please leave him alone? Like, can we leave? Like, this is not healthy. And as a kid, you don't know anything but to say what you say. So I had a codependency issue. I don't anymore, because I learned how to walk away when I was getting mentally, physically, and emotionally abused about things that just like, no, that's you. This is too much. Like, I'm recreating some things, and now my child is a witness to this. Oh, hell no. I didn't want it as a kid for me. I damn for sure don't want it as a kid for myself. So I will open up about that as well. And abandonment wound is also, you normally attract emotionally unavailable people. And that all triggers from your childhood. It all stems from your childhood. And I have definitely attracted some emotionally unavailable people. I am an emotionally intelligent person. Like, I have emotional intelligence that's crazy with me being a water sign and all of these different things. But you're not just your water sign, you're your moon and your rising too. So I got my Aquarius and my Virgo and my Cancer all battling each other because they're trying to find balance. And within that. So I'm going to stop there, and this will be part 1. And then we'll move on into the next part. So I will see you all in a second.